What's up, guys? Joe Munoz, OneStepPrep.com. And I have here a stack of building blocks, bricks. This is actually for my 4-year-old. But, you know, I spotted it and I said, this is very relevant to really not only type rating training, but life in general. The other day I'm in the sim and we're putting together the pieces of the puzzle, much like how you see me stacking bricks here. And ground school, like sim training, is this way. For you to have a solid foundation, you got to lay it brick by brick. And what I mean by that is, I think 5 bricks or so here, maybe 4 will do. We'll stick with these 5 bricks. Let's say you do a V1 cut. And it could be ground school, it could be systems, could be anything. But we're going to use the V1 cut, for example. We got to parallel the center line, smoothly rotate off. Make sure in the case of the 320, we center the beta target. Directional control with the rudder and the turn coordinator in the case of a 7.3. Then we trim adequately, apply the autopilot. If there's a memory item, usually by 400 feet, we apply it, followed by ECAM action. And or later on, the memory item followed by the QRH. There's a whole slew of things that we do, not only flying the plane, but also procedurally. The truth is, however, you can't pack on a bunch of things for the student or yourself to do if you're not foundationally sound with just one brick at a time. So let me illustrate this visually. The step 1 is aviate, fly the plane adequately. Be able to maintain center line plus or minus 10 degrees left, right once we get airborne and not be deviating too far off your heading. In order to do that, make sure we first parallel the center line, smoothly rotate off. Make sure we don't have any roll in there. Make sure your pitch is into the flight director, never above, so we don't have a speed decay that results in rudder effectiveness loss. That's 1 brick. Once we're able to do that, we tack on now the placing of the autopilot to commence with the memory items, advising of ATC that we have an anomaly, an abnormal situation. But the fact of the matter is, if I can't fly the plane, I got no business advising ATC, and I got no business running a QRH, memory item, ECAM action, nothing. I can't stack bricks on top of a foundation that is non-existent. And this is true in ground school too, where we say, hey, today we're going to cover electric, pneumatic, hydraulic, flight controls, right? Followed later on by landing gear and power plant. But guess what? If I haven't covered flight hydraulics, I can't really adequately cover flight controls because the flight controls are entirely hydraulic. In other words, when I talk about the spoilers and the ailerons and what hydraulic system deflects them, if you haven't gone through hydraulics, you wouldn't know there's even an A-B standby or a green, blue, yellow with 3,000 operating PSI with the assistance of a PTU. We wouldn't know any about that stuff, right? So what we do well here at One Step Prep is we lay a foundation of bricks like this, okay? And we do so literally brick by brick by brick. And we don't move on to the next brick until the prior brick is perfectly laid. And we don't set out to build a wall, but rather we set out to lay a brick as perfectly as we possibly can. And before you know it, we finally have a wall that is being built brick by brick that is strong. And it can finally support all of the additional tasks that you are having to do as a professional pilot. So with that being said, my name is Joe Munoz. You guys know the name. Juan, enjoy your friends and training program success here at One Step Prep. Look, folks, lay yourself a strong foundation so the whole thing doesn't crumble. All right, we look forward to working with you here in Miami. Joe Munoz, Juan Dominguez, your friends here at OneStepPrep.com. See you here.